Ukraine's reputation for corruption is notorious, ranking as the third most corrupt country in Europe. According to recent reports, it shares this dubious position with Serbia, outranking Belarus and Bosnia. Despite these grim figures, Ukraine scores significantly better than Russia by about 60%. Russia's corruption score is dreadfully low, matching Lebanon and barely surpassing Zimbabwe. Since launching its invasion of Ukraine in February 2022, Russia has been plagued with systemic corruption issues. These problems are cracking open the very core of its leadership and procurement systems. Rumors swirl about unchecked bribe-taking, misappropriation of funds, and covert deals that threaten to sabotage its entire campaign. Would these internal cracks strip Russia of its military strength? The situation grew so chaotic that President Vladimir Putin was forced to purge his defense hierarchy in 2024. The purge is ongoing, revealing a systemic rot deep within. The first major purge victim was Deputy Defense Minister Timur Ivanov, caught accepting bribes and flaunting a luxurious lifestyle backed by corrupt dealings. Shortly after, Lieutenant General Yuri Kuznetsov, responsible for personnel clearances, was detained for allegedly trading secrets for valuables. Then came Major General Ivan Popov, whose arrest in May stemmed from a massive fraud case involving military funds. That same month, Lieutenant General Vadim Shamarim, Deputy Chief of the General Staff, was charged with accepting bribes worth at least $400,000. He allegedly awarded contracts to favored manufacturers in exchange. Further still, Vladimir Vertalevsky, a senior defense procurement official, was accused of abusing authority by approving incomplete projects, resulting in losses exceeding $750,000. Army General Dmitry Bolbakov faced allegations of supplying substandard military rations, risking soldiers' lives. In July, Andrei Bolbakov, heading a military construction firm, was detained over abuse of defense orders. The arrests haven't slowed down, yet the impact remains unclear. Could these sweeping actions truly unravel Russia's military potential? Or are they merely surface moves to mask deeper, unbridgeable decay? The truth is, as the investigation deepens, more questions emerge. Could this internal collapse expose Russia's vulnerabilities to its adversaries? Or will it prove to be just a fleeting distraction amid larger strategic ambitions? The shadows cast by corruption threaten to cloud even its most advanced weapon systems. What secrets are these nations hiding behind their elaborate facades? Are they bluffing, or are they teetering on the edge of an enormous collapse? The stakes have never been higher, and the revelations could change the course of history itself. Recent years have revealed a startling truth: even the mightiest seeming nations can hide devastating weaknesses beneath their surface. Imagine a nation boasting the world's largest standing army and an impressive arsenal of cutting-edge weapons, yet secretly teetering on the brink of collapse. Could there be a hidden flaw in China's military power that they desperately want to keep under wraps? A fragile paper dragon? Let's explore the astonishing parade held in September 2025. It was meant to showcase China's dominance. Spectators heard the roar of engines and saw the gleam of polished steel as the world witnessed a display of technological marvels. A showcase unlike any before. The Chinese military revealed its full nuclear triad for the first time: missiles capable of striking over 12,400 miles, armed with 10 independent warheads. Hypersonic missiles streaked across the sky, shimmering like fiery serpents, designed to annihilate high-value targets such as aircraft carriers. Laser systems and microwave defenses formed an impenetrable wall of protection against unmanned drones and incoming missiles. Stealth fighters, unmanned underwater vehicles, all paraded with pride, as if proclaiming unstoppable power. A portrait of strength painted in steel and smoke. Or was it? The awe-inspiring spectacle seemingly posed no questions, but beneath the surface lurks doubt. How real is this display? Do these weapons truly possess the capabilities claimed? Governments and corporations have long mastered the art of smoke and mirrors. They excel at convincing the world of their strength, knowing that a reputation for invincibility acts as the ultimate deterrent. But what lies behind the curtain? One should ask, are these weapons as formidable as they appear? Are they ready to defend or merely symbols of power? History offers chilling clues. Recall the Cold War era, when the Soviet Union's Grand Parade showcased enormous missiles that didn't actually exist. Massive replicas transported on tractors, false promises designed to intimidate and deceive. Why did they do it? To prevent enemies from probing too close, to buy themselves precious time. The Soviet strategy was to bluff, to stoke fear among rivals with elaborate deception. Their secret? They knew that European and American spies couldn't verify what was real, so they played to their advantage. Fast forward. Today, similar tactics are at play. China's displays, Russia's grand parades, are they genuine? Or is this just another modern version of the Soviet Potemkin village? Transparency is scarce. Satellite images and inspections are limited. Could China be hiding a less impressive reality behind their high-tech curtain? Is their true military strength more fragile than they want the world to think? You might be surprised. The secrets they're concealing could reshape global power forever. But the question remains, how much of this is real, and how much is a carefully staged illusion? In this game of shadows and smoke, one thing is certain. The truth may be hidden far beneath the surface, just waiting to explode into view. The real question is, are we prepared for what's really out there? Recent developments reveal China's military might be more illusion than reality. Despite showcasing cutting-edge hardware during monumental parades, cracks run deep beneath the surface. Could these displays mask a weakened force, plagued by corruption and organizational chaos? History warns bluffing in warfare often leads to disastrous consequences. The question is, how much of China's military strength is real, and how much is just an elaborate illusion? Once celebrated as proof of unstoppable progress, China's recent military parades highlight weapons and technologies that spark awe. Massive nuclear submarines, hypersonic missiles, laser defenses, each unveiling seems to scream dominance. But behind the scenes, doubts fester among global analysts. Are these systems operational, or merely props in a grand pageant? The signs suggest a different story. When the world's eyes are fixed on China's display, the nation's insiders know a troubling truth: many of these weapons might never see battlefield duty. Could this be just another chapter in a long history of military deception? As the parade echoes with the roar of engines and the flash of bright lights, a darker question hangs in the air: how much of this flash is real? Past Soviet shows, built on lies and smokescreens, haunt current military truth. The USSR paraded fake missiles, convincing the West of strength that never truly existed. Modern China may be playing the same game, hiding cracks behind hype and bravado. A small group of insiders might know the truth: many of these superweapons could be fragile shells, barely able to function if called into action. If true, how long can this illusion hold? With every shining missile and sleek fighter flying overhead, there's a shadow-lurking doubt about their capability. Is China bluffing to scare adversaries, or is its military truly as formidable as it claims? History shows the danger of underestimating. Napoleon and Hitler learned this too late. But overestimating can be just as deadly. A false sense of security leads nations into risky moves, believing they face unstoppable foes. When the truth emerges, if it ever does, it could reshape global power dramatically. The real twist is this: beneath the polished surface, a crumbling empire of deception may be masking a weak underbelly. Confidence in China's military tech is fragile, built on a foundation of inflated claims and clandestine realities. Will the world awaken to this truth before it's too late? Or will China's grand illusions persist, convincing everyone of strength that no longer exists? As new revelations surface, the stakes have never been higher. The game of deception might be coming to an end, but the consequences will echo for decades to come. Recent decades have seen a remarkable transformation in China's military force. Once considered a secondary player, the People's Liberation Army now stands as the third most powerful military globally. Its arsenal boasts cutting-edge weapons, strategic deterrence, and technological marvels designed to impress. But beneath this impressive display, a lingering question remains: how much of this hardware is truly capable? Are the dazzling weapons really as formidable as they seem, or are they just elaborate illusions crafted to dazzle foreign eyes? The truth could be more shocking than anyone suspects. Imagine standing amidst the thunderous roar of military parades, watching missiles soar through the sky like fiery dragons, or hearing the piercing wail of anti-ship rockets streaking past. It all looks astonishing until the question arises, do these weapons actually do what they claim? Clearly, nations have a history of exaggerating their military might. We've seen it before with Russia, where massive displays of supposed sophistication turned out to be nothing more than hollow shells, fake missiles paraded with all the fanfare but lacking real capability. Is China really any different? Or are they, perhaps, employing the same deception tactics as the Soviets once did, hiding fragile realities behind a facade of strength? On the day of a grand parade in Beijing, new nuclear missile systems revealed themselves, an incredible showcase of technology. The country unveiled its entire nuclear triad for the first time: intercontinental ballistic missiles with ranges over 12,400 miles. Multiple warheads capable of striking anywhere. Hypersonic missiles designed for precision strikes, laser weapons mounted on armored trucks, stealth fighters soaring overhead, everything appeared formidable. The spectacle was jaw-dropping, even Donald Trump called it very, very impressive. But what if this is just a show? What if most of these weapons are nothing but high-tech paper dragons, built to impress and intimidate, yet fundamentally fragile? History warns us of such illusions. During the Cold War, Soviet leaders staged grand parades with missiles that were mere mock-ups. These weren't real weapons, they were Potemkin displays, phony symbols designed to dazzle adversaries and disguise their weaknesses. Vladimir Semijusny, a KGB insider, confessed that many missiles showcased in past parades never flew, they were elaborate fake-ups, a bluff to hide the reality. With limited surveillance technology, Western nations often relied on these displays, believing the Soviet superweapons were unstoppable. The USSR capitalized on this deception, convincing others of their strength while hiding their true limitations. Could China be employing the same tricks today? Are their so-called superweapons merely modern-day paper dragons, designed to keep rivals guessing? The danger lies in believing these displays blindly. Overestimating an enemy's power often leads to devastating mistakes, conflicts dragged out, unnecessary wars, miscalculations. Napoleon and Hitler underestimated Russia's resilience and paid steep prices. Conversely, underestimating can be even more catastrophic. If China's military relies on bluff and illusion, it could be a trap, making nations hesitate or act prematurely. Meanwhile, China's feats of engineering, bridges, high-speed trains, groundbreaking nanotech are undeniable. Yet, does this technical mastery translate into battlefield strength, or is it just a sophisticated illusion? As the world watches, the truth remains hidden behind a carefully constructed curtain of deception and technological prowess. But for how long can these illusions hold? And when they finally shatter, what will be revealed? In recent times, few nations have experienced such a rapid military flip as China. From building the world's largest standing army to claiming the third most powerful force worldwide, their arsenal seems unstoppable. But what if behind this impressive facade lies a secret vulnerability no one dares to acknowledge? Could their mighty display be more illusion than reality? Hidden lessons from recent conflicts suggest their true strength might be vastly overstated. Imagine standing amidst the roaring engines of a military parade, fireworks exploding in the sky, and a sea of soldiers and state-of-the-art weapons parading through Tiananmen Square. The air vibrates with confidence, power, and technological breakthroughs. For the first time ever, China unveils its complete nuclear triad, a terrifying array of missiles capable of striking across continents with lethal precision. The range? Over 12,400 miles, enough to reach any target on the planet. This includes top-secret weapons like the DF-5C, DF-61, and DF-31BJ ICBMs, each armed with 10 independent warheads. As the crowd cheers, a sleek submarine-launched missile named JL-3 silently slips beneath the waves, its presence suggesting a new era of undersea dominance. At the same time, the new JL-1 air-launched nuclear missile is wheeled through the streets, hinting at an invisible threat that could strike from above at a moment's notice. Mobile missile launchers, the DF-61, roll through the city, revealing the nation's push for mobile, hard-to-detect arsenals. The parade's fireworks are not limited to missiles. Hypersonic anti-ship weapons like YJ-15, YJ-17, YJ-19, And YJ-20 showcased China's ability to target critical naval assets with unprecedented speed and accuracy. These weapons can glide at hypersonic speeds, dodging interceptors and striking precisely where it hurts aircraft carriers, military ports, or even entire fleets. Meanwhile, a terrifying laser mounted on an armored truck, known as LY-1, dazzles the crowd with its destructive power. High-energy lasers and microwave systems are displayed, forming a shield of anti-drone and anti-missile defenses that could disable incoming threats in seconds. Overhead, 5 stealth fighters, including the advanced J-20, J-28, and J-35A, perform daring maneuvers, illustrating their aerial dominance. But beneath this spectacle, a troubling question lingers. Do these weapons truly operate as advertised? Or is this military showcase more akin to a paper dragon, impressive on the outside but fragile within? For decades, nations have played the game of deception, pumping up the perceived strength of their arsenals while hiding shortcomings. Russia's infamous false displays, like the fake missiles on Red Square, serve as stark proof that appearances can be deceiving. What lies behind China's mighty facade? Are they masters of illusion, bluffing their way into dominance? Historical lessons warn us, nations have long inflated their military capabilities to intimidate foes and sway allies. Could China's recent parade be merely a high-tech smokescreen designed to hide weaknesses? What secrets are they hiding behind their shiny new weaponry? In the shadows of this high-tech theater, questions remain. How much of this military show is real? And how much is a meticulously crafted illusion meant to keep rivals at bay? One thing is certain, in the world of state secrets, appearances can be deceiving, and the truth may be far more fragile than it seems. In the early days of Cold War rivalry, deception became an art form. Officially, every nation claimed to hold unprecedented military power. Behind closed doors, however, secrets and lies reigned supreme. Among the most astonishing was how one superpower used elaborate tricks to hide the truth about its weaponry, fooling even the most seasoned spies. Imagine a dazzling parade in the center of a nation's capital. Thunderous drums, shimmering tanks, and missile launches dominating the skyline. Millions watch in awe, the air thick with anticipation and pride. Yet beneath the spectacle lies a dangerous secret. Many of these weapons are nothing but hollow shells, costume props designed to dazzle and deceive. This wasn't an isolated tactic but a recurring strategy used to maintain an illusion of invincibility. Once, not long ago, a top military official revealed that hundreds of these so-called weapons shown during parades were mere replicas, unmovable, unfinished, and utterly non-functional. The goal? Convince the world of unstoppable force. Enemies couldn't verify what was real. They only saw what was presented. Was it a gamble worth taking? Or a dangerous bluff that could crumble at any moment? The reason behind these grand illusions traces back to the limits of intelligence gathering. Keep in mind, surveillance technology of that era was primitive. Most hidden weapons were buried deep underground, locked away in secret hangars only accessible through carefully choreographed displays. Military leaders knew adversaries couldn't verify their capabilities firsthand. So they staged the show, fooling the eyes of foreign analysts, swapping real threats with make-believe. Take a moment to consider this. The Soviet Union's leader, Nikita Khrushchev, actually promoted a missile called the GR-1, an atomic giant that reportedly had no US equivalent. It was supposed to be a game-changer, a weapon that could strike anywhere, anytime. Yet, at the time, no such missile existed. It was just a plan, a design, an idea floated in speeches. Still, Western intelligence believed in it. They poured resources into hunting for a missile that was nothing but a ghost. The deception worked perfectly. NATO analysts scoured secret files, chasing shadows. When a missile prototype eventually appeared on Red Square in 1965, it seemed undeniable proof that the Soviets had achieved the impossible. But, in truth, it was another hollow shell. The real weapon was still in development, a sham to buy time and mislead opponents. Every parade, every showcase, was coordinated with military stations and train routes. After the displays, the fake missiles would be ferried away, sometimes hidden in boxcars, sometimes in plain sight. Foreign agents observed and relayed what they saw. Their reports, shaken and uncertain, became the foundation of Western fears and miscalculations. Nevertheless, the game of deception wasn't limited to one nation. The Soviets, understanding the power of illusions, played it for decades. They inflated the capabilities of their so-called superweapons like the RT-15, RT-20 missiles, and even the legendary 2B-1 artillery, only to quietly dismantle or abandon them once the prying eyes looked too close. They knew that to keep rivals guessing, sometimes the best move was just to bluff, relying on the fog of war and secrecy. Today, modern surveillance might seem unbeatable, but shadows still linger. Are some modern superweapons claimed to be unstoppable just as much smoke and mirrors? Could today's battles be nothing more than high-stakes illusions? The truth remains hidden beneath layers of deception, waiting for the moment when the truth finally shines through. In recent decades, China's military has undergone a dramatic transformation. What once was a large but somewhat overlooked force has now become one of the world's most formidable armies. Officially ranked as third in global strength, it boasts a vast arsenal of cutting-edge weaponry. At military parades, they proudly display submarines, stealth fighters, and missile systems that seem almost too advanced to be real. But how much of their apparent strength is genuine? Or is it all just a carefully crafted illusion? What if, behind the dazzling displays, the reality is far different from what they want the world to believe? Are these military might shows just a high-stakes game of bluffing? This story unravels a shocking possibility that the Chinese military might be more fragile and less capable than the world thinks, an elaborate facade hiding vulnerabilities that could reshape global power forever. Imagine the scene, a massive military parade in Beijing, banners fluttering, engines roaring, and the sky filled with the deafening sound of fighter jets performing aerial acrobatics. For the first time, China reveals its entire nuclear triad, intercontinental ballistic missiles with ranges exceeding 12,400 miles, capable of carrying multiple warheads targeting multiple locations simultaneously. Strategic submarines unleash missiles silently beneath the waves, while hypersonic missiles streak through the sky with a roar, designed to destroy aircraft carriers and high-value targets. The air is thick with the smell of burnt fuel. More flash than function. The nuclear triad, hypersonic missiles, laser defense systems, all might be exaggerated stories, marketing to scare adversaries. And the ground trembles beneath the weight of tanks with unmanned turrets and advanced radar systems. It all looks impressive. But the question remains, can these weapons actually do what they claim? Are they truly as powerful, or is this just a show to send a message of strength that might be more smoke and mirrors? In the corridors of military power, truth often takes a backseat to perception. Just like in history, nations have a habit of exaggerating their military capabilities. Russia's past is riddled with deception. They claim to have enormous missiles that actually turned out to be mere replicas. Back in the 1960s, Soviet leaders paraded giant missiles across Moscow's Red Square only to reveal later they were fake. These elaborate deceptions were designed to bluff their enemies into inaction. The massive, automated missiles, the giant artillery, none of them could actually fire. Yet the psychological impact was enormous. NATO and the West believed the USSR possessed unstoppable firepower. The Soviet Union knew that the best weapon was often the illusion of invincibility. So, what about China today? Are they playing the same game? In the same way, recent Chinese displays could be just modern-day illusions. They showcased their newest hypersonic missiles, laser weapons, and stealth fighters, all designed to dazzle the world. But beneath the surface, how much of this hardware is actually operational? Do these weapons work as advertised? Or are they symbols of technological ambition, with some just prototypes or even decoys? The Chinese military might be banking on the fear their display inspires. Yet, history warns us, just because a nation boasts of new weapons doesn't mean they're ready to deploy them effectively. In many cases, these parade pieces are more about psychological warfare than battlefield readiness. Are we witnessing a high-stakes bluff, similar to the Soviet tricks of the past? Or is China truly on the verge of a new era of military dominance? The answer could shift the balance of global power forever if it's real. But if it's not? The consequences could be even more shocking. In recent decades, China's military has undergone a dramatic transformation. What once was a large but somewhat overlooked force has now become one of the world's most formidable armies. Officially ranked as third in global strength, it boasts a vast arsenal of cutting-edge weaponry. At military parades, they proudly display submarines, stealth fighters, and missile systems that seem almost too advanced to be real. But how much of their apparent strength is genuine? Or is it all just a carefully crafted illusion? What if, behind the dazzling displays, the reality is far different from what they want the world to believe? Are these military might shows just a high-stakes game of bluffing? This story unravels a shocking possibility that the Chinese military might be more fragile and less capable than the world thinks, an elaborate facade hiding vulnerabilities that could reshape global power forever. Intelligence agents. Would today's China do the same? Could much of its military might be built upon illusions and deception? The key to understanding this lies in the art of bluffing. Russia, decades ago, used theatrical parades to hide their true capabilities. During the Cold War, they rolled out massive missiles that turned out to be nothing but replicas, decoys designed to scare opponents and buy time. These Potemkin displays kept rival nations on edge, while the real weapons lay hidden in underground bunkers. Could China be following a similar playbook? What if the incredible weapons China unveils are more flash than function? The nuclear triad, hypersonic missiles, laser defense systems, all might be exaggerated stories, marketing to scare adversaries. And the ground trembles beneath the weight of tanks with unmanned turrets and advanced radar systems. It all looks impressive. But the question remains, can these weapons actually do what they claim? Are they truly as powerful, or is this just a show to send a message of strength that might be more smoke and mirrors? In the corridors of military power, truth often takes a backseat to perception. Just like in history, nations have a habit of exaggerating their military capabilities. Remains, are nations fighting with real firepower or just convincing illusions? What if the core of China's military strength is a carefully crafted illusion, and the real power lies lurking behind the scenes, hidden, uncertain, and potentially fragile? The truth could be much scarier than the spectacle. Behind every dazzling display of military might, there may be a crucial question: are they bluffing? And what will happen when the world discovers the true strength of China's arsenal, if it exists at all? In the world of military display, appearances can be deceiving, literally. For decades, the Soviet Union mastered the art of illusion, using elaborate tricks to project power they didn't truly possess. They would parade massive missile replicas, watching foreign spies' eyes widen in awe and their doubts remain hidden. Why risk revealing their real weaknesses? Because deception is the ultimate weapon. Every year, the Soviet leadership would present new missile technologies at Red Square, claiming breakthroughs that seem to leap beyond current science. But behind closed doors, most of these supposed marvels were nothing more than painted shells, cardboard mock-ups mounted on scaffolding. A small, secret circle knew the truth: they were counterfeit. They looked imposing, but couldn't fly or detonate. Imagine the shock when foreign spies realized the giants they admired were just elaborate facades, Potemkin villages built to fool the world. Why did the Soviets go to such extremes? Their secret weapon was deception itself. With limited surveillance tools of the time, Western intelligence couldn't confirm what was real and what was false. All true weapons were hidden in underground bunkers, only visible during those annual parades. This gave the Soviets a distinct advantage: they could spin stories, fake capabilities, and keep their enemies guessing. The game was about control, about shaping perceptions rather than realities. Khrushchev knew the value of illusions. He boasted about the GR-1 missile, claiming it had no U.S. equivalent. He painted a picture of a global missile capable of striking anywhere, rendered invisible to all defenses. At the time, the blueprint was only a formal proposal, no prototype existed. Yet, that didn't matter. His words ignited a frenzy of fear and admiration worldwide. NATO spies went into overdrive, hunting for the invisible giant, taking his claims as fact. The deception was so convincing that, in 1965, when a missile resembling the GR-1 was displayed on Red Square, no one doubted the Soviets had achieved the impossible. But the ruse didn't end after the parade. Afterward, the fake missile was moved secretly to a Moscow train station. Foreign diplomats, eagerly watching, tried to decipher its true purpose. They speculated wildly, was this the real deal? The Soviets watched them silently, knowing that their deception had succeeded once more. Each step was calculated to keep their rivals off balance, feeding false narratives that masked their actual technological limitations. This pattern of deception wasn't a one-time stunt. It was woven into their military strategy for decades. Just like in the days of Khrushchev, modern instances continue to keep the world on its toes, with nations publicly boasting about weapons they can barely produce. Because in warfare, perception is reality. If your enemies believe your arsenal is unstoppable, they are less likely to challenge you. Yet, beneath the spectacle, cracks begin to show. How much of the might they showcase is genuine? Or just another illusion designed to buy time? In recent decades, China's military has undergone a staggering transformation. What once seemed merely a large army now claims to be the third most powerful force on the planet. Its arsenal is brimming with cutting-edge weapons, hypersonic missiles, stealth fighters, and nuclear capabilities beyond imagination. But could all this be an illusion? Is China hiding a dangerous weakness behind its impressive show of strength? Let's step into a world where appearances can deceive. Imagine a grand parade on September 3, 2025, in the heart of Beijing. The city trembles beneath the roar of engines and the crackle of patriotic music filling the air. Thousands gather, eyes wide with admiration, as shimmering stealth fighters streak through the sky, J-20s and their counterparts dancing in formation. Below, giant missiles parade along Chang'an Avenue, their sleek bodies glinting in the sunlight, promising unstoppable power. China unveils its full nuclear triad, missile systems capable of hitting targets over 12,400 miles away, armed with 10 independently targetable warheads. Among them, the JL-3 submarine missile and the newly revealed JL-1 air-launched nuclear weapon. It's a spectacle of raw military prowess. But beneath this dazzling display, a nagging question grows louder. Does this hardware truly match the hype? Defense manufacturers have long mastered the art of packaging strength with smoke and mirrors. Every country's military does it, talking up their capabilities while remaining silent on flaws. After all, the threat of overwhelming firepower has a powerful deterrent effect. The more enemies believe they face a lion, the less likely they are to strike first. Russia's history offers a chilling warning. During the Cold War, Soviet leaders staged grand parades featuring massive missiles, real or not. In 1965, giant rockets rolled across Red Square, seemingly ready to obliterate the globe. But years later, it was revealed they were just replicas made from painted plywood. The Soviet Union's leadership played a deadly game of bluff, fake weapons masking a limited arsenal. Their secret? A lack of perfect surveillance, which allowed these illusions to flourish. The aim? Convince the world of military might that may have never existed. This pattern repeats time and again. How many of Russia's supposed superweapons, like the Poseidon stealth drone or the Borovesnik missile, are real versus exaggerated? These systems sound terrifying: nuclear-tipped underwater robots capable of triggering radioactive tsunamis, hypersonic missiles that can strike anywhere in minutes. But are they as formidable as Russia claims? Or are they mere bluff and bravado, designed to sow fear while the actual tech remains grounded? History suggests deception runs deep. During the 1950s and 60s, the Soviet Union sent their soldiers running in circles with fake missiles, false promises, and propaganda. They parade what's not real. The truth? Many of the so-called superweapons never left the drawing board. They were illusions crafted to hide weaknesses, to keep enemies guessing. Will China follow suit? As satellite eyes scan its massive landscape, can any of its claims truly be trusted? There's a pressing question hanging in the air: how much of China's recent show is smoke and mirrors? For decades, nations have resorted to illusions, building false images to intimidate foes. The Soviet Union's grand deception was ultimately exposed. Now, as China claims to dominate the future battlefield, we must ask, are we seeing reality or a carefully constructed fantasy? In a world where appearances deceive, the true strength of a nation's military might remains hidden, sometimes until it's too late. What secrets does China's proud display conceal? And could the world be underestimating a sleeping dragon hiding dangerous vulnerabilities behind its magnificent armor? Decades of rapid growth have transformed China's military from a massive force into what's now considered the third most powerful in the world. Displayed through elaborate parades and boastful announcements, the nation flaunts hypersonic missiles, stealth fighters, and nuclear delivery systems with unmatched precision. But beneath this eye-catching veneer, a disturbing question lingers: are these technological marvels truly as formidable as they appear? Or is China, like so many before it, hiding a critical vulnerability behind a carefully crafted illusion? Let's imagine ourselves standing amidst the chaos of September 3, 2025, in the bustling heart of Beijing. The air vibrates with the thunder of engines, the crack of patriotic chants echoing through the streets. Thousands of spectators gaze upward, mouths agape, as sleek, black stealth fighters streak across the sky, J-20s and their stealthy counterparts executing perfect formations, their engines roaring like thunderclaps. On the ground, colossal missiles parade down Chang'an Avenue, their bodies gleaming in the sunlight, promising unstoppable force. The crowd watches in awe as China unveils its full nuclear triad, missiles capable of striking targets over 12,400 miles away, armed with 10 sophisticated warheads, each actively targeted. Among the new revelations are the JL-3 submarine-launched ballistic missile and the freshly announced JL-1 air-launched nuclear weapon. This spectacle of military grandeur is designed to dazzle. But a voice whispers doubts in the back of the mind. Do these boastful displays reflect real power, or are they elaborate facades? Every military leader knows the game: talk up your strengths, hush your flaws. Nations have played this bluff for centuries. The more enemies believe your weapons are unstoppable lions, the less likely they are to attack first. History warns us starkly. During the Cold War, the Soviets staged grand parades, rolling out giant rockets across Red Square, whether real or fake, aimed at intimidating the West. It wasn't about factual accuracy, it was about perception. Many of those monstrous missiles were nothing more than painted plywood replicas, false stories spun to fool the world. Soviet leadership mastered the art of deception, hiding limited arsenals behind a mask of overwhelming might, exploiting gaps in Western surveillance. This pattern persists today. How many of Russia's supposed superweapons, the Poseidon stealth drone designed to trigger radioactive tsunamis, or the Borovesnik missile capable of hypersonic strikes, are genuine? Or are they mere shadows, crafted to sow fear while the real tech remains grounded? The stories sound terrifying: underwater robots that could cause city-destroying waves, hypersonic missiles that strike in minutes from hidden launch pads. But are they as lethal as claimed, or just tools of propaganda? History offers chilling lessons. During the 1950s and 60s, Moscow's military parades featured fake missiles designed to look powerful but never left the drawing board. Elaborate doctrines, false promises, these were misdirection strategies. Many so-called superweapons were nothing more than illusions, meant solely to conceal weaknesses and keep adversaries guessing. Could China be following this same path? With every satellite orbiting overhead, can we truly trust their claims? Or are their boasts designed to inflate their perceived strength, masking vulnerabilities that could reveal themselves when least expected? For generations, nations have resorted to illusions, building false images of invincibility. The Soviet Union's grand deception was exposed for what it was: a bluff. Now, as China proclaims dominance and technological prowess, a critical question arises: are we witnessing genuine progress or a carefully curated fantasy? In a world where appearances often deceive, the true military strength of a nation remains hidden behind layers of smoke and mirrors. Sometimes, these secrets only surface when it's far too late. What secrets might China's proud parade conceal? Could the mighty dragon be sleeping on a fragile foundation, cloaked in armor that's mere paper? Could the world be underestimating a hidden vulnerability lurking behind the dazzling display? The truth might be far stranger and more dangerous than anyone imagined. In the shadowy world of high-tech weaponry, what lies beneath the dazzling surface? Imagine a parade where cutting-edge missiles, hypersonic glide vehicles, and stealth fighters captivate global eyes. The air crackles with anticipation, but a quiet question lingers: how much of this spectacle is actually real? Could much of it be a carefully crafted illusion, an elaborate show to keep foes guessing? Are these weapons truly unstoppable, or just expertly staged smoke and mirrors? Picture the scene: China's military parade, 2025. The atmosphere hums with the roar of engines, the scent of gasoline lingering in the air. Advanced stealth fighters like the J-20, J-28, and J-35 slice through the sky, their sleek silhouettes shimmering under the sun. Below, unmanned underwater vehicles, shaped like enormous torpedoes, glide silently through water, promising a revolution in sea warfare if only they are truly operational. On land, a new generation main battle tank rolls out, boasting an unmanned turret, augmented reality displays, and sophisticated radar. It's a sight that could make any observer's heart race with awe. But amidst this spectacle, a piercing doubt emerges. How can we be sure all this technological marvel truly functions as claimed? Every military and weapons maker has a secret and incentive to inflate capabilities, hide flaws, and dominate perception. It's an age-old game: boast big, downplay issues, and create a sense of invincibility. Such displays serve a critical purpose: deterrence. The more formidable your weapons appear, the less likely enemies are to challenge you. History warns us, Russia's 1965 military parade was a masterclass in deception. Huge missiles rolled out, caught in spotlight, yet turned out to be mere replicas, props designed to threaten with nothing beneath. The Soviet Union's leaders' new powerful perception kept adversaries wary. With little surveillance tech at the time, they skillfully used parades to suggest dominance they couldn't back up. Every boom, every flash was a calculated move to keep rivals guessing. Fast forward to today, again, history repeats itself. The tales of Russia's formidable superweapons, like the Poseidon stealth drone or the Borovestnik ballistic missile, are shrouded in ambiguity. They claim these systems can cause radioactive tsunamis or strike targets on the other side of the globe at hypersonic speeds. Yet, hard proof is elusive. Are these weapons real threats, or elaborate bluffing to keep NATO and the West on edge? Could these stories be a modern version of the Soviets' grand deception, crafted to mislead enemies and dominate perceptions of power? In the chaos of conflict, misinformation can be deadly. Russia's past shows this clearly: how a false missile here, a fake parade there, can manipulate global perceptions. The same tactics appear in play now, with claims of new weapons that might not exist outside stagecraft. The question remains: how much of this military show is genuine? And how much is a fragile illusion designed to shake the world? Recent military displays by China have sent shockwaves around the world. Whispers swirl: are these weapons truly as formidable as they appear? The Grand Parade in 2025 showcased staggering advancements: nuclear missile systems, hypersonic glide vehicles, stealth fighters, underwater drones. But beneath the dazzling spectacle lurks a troubling question. How much of this show is genuine? Could it all be an elaborate illusion crafted to intimidate rivals? In a world where appearances deceive, only one truth remains certain: not everything that shines is real. At that moment in the heart of Beijing, the air was thick with anticipation. Overhead, the roar of engines echoed with a thunderous symphony, stealth fighters like the J-20 and J-28 slicing through the sky with ghostly silence, their sleek forms shimmering in the sunlight. On the ground, massive unmanned underwater vehicles, shaped like torpedoes, glided silently through the water's surface. Their potential to revolutionize submarine warfare was staggering, if only they could operate at scale. Meanwhile, on land, the new Type 104 main battle tank rolled into view. Its unmanned turret gleamed, covered in advanced radar detectors, active protection systems, and augmented reality optics that seemed straight out of a science fiction film. Every inch of that armor whispered promises of invincibility. But here's the twist: how can anyone be certain these weapons are more than elaborate props? Militaries worldwide, including China's, have a habit of overstating capabilities. It's a common strategy: inflate the strength of your arsenal. Cast doubt on the enemy's means to respond. The more intimidating your weapons seem, the less likely enemies are to challenge you. We've seen similar tactics played out elsewhere. Remember when Russia paraded long-range missiles in Ukraine, claiming they could wipe out entire cities? Few doubted they were terrifying. Yet, many later turned out to be mere replicas, decoys designed to sow fear and confusion. In the 1960s, Soviet leaders went further. Massive missile models, which seemed ready to launch at any moment, were nothing but inflatable mock-ups. Why? Because surveillance technology was primitive, most intelligence gathered came from the annual spectacle on Red Square. Real weapons were hidden in underground bunkers, so the Soviets relied on theatrical deception. Their goal, to keep rivals guessing whether their arsenal was truly as powerful as claimed. The false display of power kept the global community on edge, even when the actual plans were far more modest. Today, the game continues. With advanced satellites and surveillance systems, is China's military truly as formidable as it convinces the world? Or is this a modern-day Potemkin village, spectacles crafted to mask weaknesses? The stakes are high. A single false move could spark a conflict that spirals out of control. When nations boast about their weaponry, are they truly preparing for war or simply staging a high-stakes performance? Behind the shining steel and glowing screens, the line between reality and illusion blurs. The question remains, how much of China's military might is real? And how much is just a carefully curated illusion designed to keep adversaries at bay? Because in the world of secrets and shadows, appearances deceive, and the truth can be more fragile than it seems. The battle for dominance is not just fought with weapons but with perception. And sometimes, what you see isn't the whole story. Recent decades have witnessed a striking transformation in the Chinese military landscape. Once considered a mere regional power, the People's Liberation Army now claims the third spot among the world's strongest forces. Its arsenal gleams with advanced weaponry, cutting-edge technology, and comprehensive strategic systems designed to leave observers in awe. But beneath this dazzling facade, a question lingers: how much of this impressive display is genuinely effective? Are these weapons actual game-changers, or just intricate illusions made to dazzle and intimidate outside audiences? Picture the loud, thunderous stages of military parades. Imagine missiles soaring through the sky with explosive fire, like fiery dragons crossing the horizon. Recall the piercing sounds of anti-ship missiles streaking past, their hypersonic gliders slicing through the air, refined for pinpoint strikes on high-value targets like aircraft carriers. The sights are breathtaking, yet a voice in your mind whispers, do these weapons really do what they advertise? History is filled with cases where nations have hyped their military might. We saw it during the Cold War when the Soviet Union staged massive parades featuring towering missiles and complex hardware. But many of these displays were just elaborate covers, Potemkin villages crafted to hide real weaknesses. Vladimir Semijusny, a veteran of Soviet intelligence, admitted that numerous missiles shown on Red Square never worked. They were just decoys, staged icons aimed at fooling adversaries and the world. The Soviet Union knew that their rivals couldn't verify the true capabilities of their weapons easily. So, they played a dangerous game of deception, using impressive parades to give the illusion of invincibility. Could China be employing similar tricks today? Are their so-called super weapons, like hypersonic missiles and stealth fighters, just modern-day paper dragons, stunning but fragile beneath the surface? Without reliable verification, these displays could be mere illusions designed to project strength while hiding vulnerabilities. Imagine the tension when nations believe they're facing a powerful adversary, only to discover that much of their perceived strength is a carefully constructed illusion. Such assumptions can lead to disastrous miscalculations. Throughout history, overestimating an opponent's power has resulted in catastrophic mistakes, wars, conflicts, and lost lives. Napoleon's invasion of Russia and Hitler's failure to conquer it were driven by underestimations of resilience. Conversely, overconfidence based on false pretenses can be equally deadly. If China's military relies predominantly on bluff, it might trap itself in a dangerous game of illusion, forcing other nations to act prematurely or cautiously, based on incomplete truths. Meanwhile, China's technological accomplishments, massive bridges, high-speed rail networks, and pioneering nanotech are undeniably impressive. But does this mastery translate into real battlefield strength? Or are we witnessing an advanced form of deception, a carefully curated illusion crafted for strategic advantage? As global eyes scrutinize China's military displays, the true state of its forces remains cloaked behind layers of technology, propaganda, and strategic ambiguity. How long can these illusions persist before reality finally surfaces? And when the curtain falls, what secrets will be revealed? The stakes are high, and the truth might be more shocking than anyone expects. Recent years reveal a shocking truth about China's military growth. Behind the massive displays and soaring headlines, an unsettling question looms: is this all a carefully crafted illusion? The Chinese military, known as the People's Liberation Army, stands as the third most formidable force worldwide. Its parade in September 2025 was a spectacle of powered missiles, drones, stealth fighters, laser weapons, all paraded vividly down Tiananmen Square. The world watched as China unveiled its nuclear triad, with ballistic missiles capable of striking over 12,400 miles, each armed with 10 independently targeted re-entry vehicles. Hypersonic missiles with names like YJ-20 and YJ-19 flashed across the sky, creating a thunderous echo that rattled the bones of Western defenses. Yet, what if all this glittering hardware is more show than substance? How can we be sure these weapons are real, operational, or merely symbolic? After all, developing such technology is one thing, knowing if it truly works in real combat is another entirely. Without battlefield experience, since China's last major engagement was during the Vietnam War decades ago, there's no solid proof of their weapons' capabilities. Like a magician's illusions, they parade these marvels, but beneath the surface, doubt lingers. Could it all be a bluff designed to scare rivals into submission? Are they pulling off a grand deception, hiding weaknesses behind a curtain of false grandeur? This speculation isn't new. The Soviet Union once used elaborate false displays to hide their true military strength. During the 1960s, giant mock-ups of missile systems rolled across Red Square, crafted from plywood or other cheap materials. The public believed in Soviet might, but behind closed doors, many of those weapons were nothing more than replicas, decoys meant to deceive intelligence agencies. Even more astonishing is that Soviet officials confessed to this deception, revealing that their real arsenal was often kept hidden away, out of sight from hostile eyes. Why? Because in an era with limited surveillance, misleading propaganda became the primary tool to maintain an aura of invincibility. Today, in the age of omnipresent satellites and electronic espionage, it seems less easy for China or Russia to maintain such illusions. Their military movements are tracked in real time, and photographic evidence constantly pours in. Still, the question remains: how much of their display is genuine? How much is a carefully orchestrated illusion, designed to intimidate? Analogies to past deceptions are tempting. The Soviet Union's showy missile parades, with foam or painted models, served a single purpose: to manipulate enemies into hesitation, waiting and wondering whether any of those missiles could really take flight. And as the world watches, a chilling shadow of skepticism lingers. If China's weapons are not as formidable as they seem, and history suggests they very well might not be, then their whole strategy hinges on convincing others they are. That deception, potent and frightening, could be the true power behind the grandiose displays. But what happens if those illusions crumble? Will the world suddenly realize they've been duped? Or is this just another chapter in a long history of military bluffing that continues to shape global power dynamics? The answer may be hidden somewhere behind the smoke and mirrors of the most spectacular parade the world has yet to see.